snow fell. The different nature of the terrain meant there were concerns regarding the longevity of the studded tyres, which both Michelin and Pirelli had provided for the event.
What we have to do in advance is we have to nominate 2 types of tyre for each of the rallies. So unfortunately, the tyres that are nominated for here are snow and ice, so that's what we have to use.
Tommi Mäkinen, the championship leader after winning the Monte Carlo, was the defending winner of the Swedish Rally and the favourite to win again.
Do you feel that the weather without any snow may give an advantage to the southern Europeans?
Good question. Good question. For everybody, it's very difficult.
It is a disadvantage for everybody because we will struggle with the tires. Basically, the tires will be very difficult when we are going to do a stage with a lot of gravel or with some patches of gravel. Well, hopefully some other stages will stay fine.
Carlos Sainz was hoping to be the first non-Scandinavian winner in Sweden, but it was always going to be a major struggle. A former winner who was back this year in the new Hyundai World Rally car was Kenneth Eriksson.
It's not so bad as people are speaking about. I think we have about 90% ice, 10% gravel, and the difficult thing is that we don't have any snowbanks to lean on. So if you miss a braking point, you are in the ditch or out in the forest. So it can be quite difficult this rally.
The Swedish Rally was the debut for the Hyundai Accent World Rally car, built and prepared by British team Motorsports Development and driven by Alistair McRae and Kenneth Eriksson. Eriksson, a 6-time winner of World Championship events in the past. David Whitehead, the boss of MSD, spoke about their aims.
We're concentrating on gravel. We will be doing 3 tarmac rallies, but we are concentrating on gravel. They suit our drivers, it is the majority of the championship, so that's where our efforts must go.
Tommi Mäkinen had won the events 3 times in the past 4 years and was expected to be the man to beat, as he had been on the Monte Carlo. Let's just remind ourselves of the points coming into this rally. Mäkinen with that win on the Monte, 10 points. Sainz finished second on the Monte Carlo. Kankkunen had been third, so they're on 4 points, with the Seat of Tony Gardemeister in fourth, ahead of Bruno Thierry and Freddie Loix. The Peugeots had failed to score, and so had Richard Burns failed to score in the Monte Carlo after the cars had refused to start on the second day, when both were going well. And so to the Swedish Rally and the first special stage. Thomas Rödström driving a Toyota Corolla World Rally car. Not a works car anymore, Toyota having withdrawn from the championship at the end of the 1999 season, but this was a car built for 1999, and Thomas Rödström, the Swedish Rally champion of 1996, was always going to be fast here.
Medium left flush, in easy right cut, 60 caution, crest in easy right over crest 20 and long bad right. Long bad right comes here, opens, and tightens, fast plus. Tightens fast plus 200. Caution crest 50, bad left.
Co-driven by Tina Torner, Rödström was running well, but so was Marcus Grönholm. He set the fastest time on the second stage and took the overall lead. Grönholm had been signed by Peugeot in 1999 by Jean-Pierre Nicolas. This was his first ever works contract when he joined it last year, and despite an international debut some 10 years previously and over 20 years of driving experience. Tommi Mäkinen was fourth on the first special stage, fourth on the second one as well. That put him into third place overall. He was suffering some slightly strange noises coming from the transmission. They changed the diff after the second stage, and that seemed to help.
Lyhyt oikea miinus, heti pirun pitkä vasemmin sillalle ja oikein nopea plus helppo kapeen. Vasen 3, pitkä vasen nopea plus.
Tommi Mäkinen and Risto Manison-Markki working effectively together as a team once again. And another Scandinavian was running well at this point. 4 times world champion Juha Kankkunen was in 4th place after the second special in his Subaru Impreza.
50, very long bad right to crest. 30, long fast left and keep right over 50 to turn 90 left.
Kankkunen continued on his way, second fastest on the 23-kilometre Ramon stage. Carlos Sainz was once again the first non-Scandinavian driver in the ranking at this early point of the first day. He was lying in 5th place after 2 specials, after setting the 2nd fastest time on the opening test. At the Peugeot service area, Marcus Grönholm came in leading after 2 stages by just 6 seconds. But there were some concerns. Toby Moody, Eurosport's man on the scene, caught up with Marcus Grönholm.
Not the dry shaft, they changed everything with hydraulic because we have no pressure in the center diff. Already from the start of the first stage, but anyway, we managed to do a good time.
Also in the service area, Thomas Rodström running in 2nd place. A non-works car, as I mentioned, but running very quickly on stages that he knows extremely well.
I should have preferred to be more in the front because it's so many lines when you're braking from all the studs, so the studs are going down too much, and then I need to look at some other brake points.
The fans gathering in the woods to keep an eye on the progress of this 2nd round of the World Championship. And Tommi Mäkinen in action once again on stages which resembled more the stages we see on the RSC Rally than what we would expect to see in Sweden, with plenty of gravel showing through, and as you heard from Thomas Rodström, concerns about those studded tyres getting very worn indeed, the metal studs wearing down. Now Mäkinen, even he has his moments, and this was definitely one of them. The 4-time world champion making a mistake on the 3rd special stage. Just take another look at this and just see quite how sideways he gets. He's looking completely out of his driver's side window here. Somehow he keeps it out of the trees and recovers to continue.
We had one mistake on stage. We went slightly off once. I don't know, did we lose something or no? It was not that much.
A minor moment then when you're 4 times world champion, but it wouldn't have taken much for it to be a major one. Richard Burns running quickly. The Pirelli tyres hadn't been too good in 1999, but they seem to be more on the pace this time around. He set the fastest time on special stage 3. Burns anxious to score points after the failure of the car to fire up on the 2nd day of the Monty.
Easy left and easy left 20, easy right and flat right go 40, flat left 70, easy right plus 70, slight left and long crest 60, flat right to flat left in 40.
A little bit of damage done, hitting a post box on special stage 4.
Last year in Finland, he said there's this one guy who always moves his post box. When the rally comes, it means you can take a much faster line, and there was one on the line on the recce. He didn't look very substantial, so just took a quicker line this time.
His teammate Juha Kankkunen was running in 5th place overall, but it was Marcus Grönholm who was leading. Rodström in 2nd, and Tommi Mäkinen was running 3rd. The frozen lakes of Sweden proving a good spectator vantage point as Colin McRae in the Ford Focus, who'd had some problems in the morning, was now going a little better, running in 2nd place.
First 2 weren't so good. We had a problem with the anti-lag valve in the engine, and it was very difficult to get the car off the start line. The last 2 were very good. The 3rd one, we had a really good time, a good clear run, and this one was very short, so everybody was about the same time.
2nd on that stage rather than in 2nd place. He was actually down in 5th place overall. 2nd year with the Ford Focus for Colin McRae, now joined in the team, of course, by Carlos Sainz, and that certainly could provide some fireworks as we go through the season. Previous best in Sweden, a 3rd place in 1996, and just more importantly than anything, he and Nicky Grist looking for a finish. After 6 special stages then, he was in 5th place overall, 24 seconds off the lead, just 4 seconds behind Richard Burns.
Slow 4 over crest, into 3 left tightens and opens over crest, to 6 minus, into long 6 right over crest.
Carlos Sainz was in only his 2nd outing for Ford after taking that excellent 2nd place on the Monte Carlo, the season opener. Sainz adapting quickly to the car after driving for Toyota last season and always running well in Sweden, but never quite a winner. 2nd place the last 4 years in a row. Could he maintain another podium finish this time out? Didier Auriol in the Seat, also moving from Toyota, of course. He was Carlos Sainz's teammate last year. Having a few problems, though. He had an engine cutting out after special stage number 2, and Auriol was lying in 10th place. Tony Gardemeister, the 24-year-old Finn, his teammate, on his 18th World Championship rally, and Gardemeister was running in 9th place after 6 special stages. And in fact, there were 3 Seats running this time. Harry Rovanperä, who'd been replaced in the team by Tony Gardemeister, brought back in for this one event, and he was also running competitively. Focus of interest for many people was the new Hyundai Accent World Rally car. And Kenneth Eriksson had a few problems with no turbo boost on the first 2 stages. They had to change the turbo and intercooler to get to the bottom of the problem. After 6 stages, he was in 19th position. Great on-board pictures there. Kenneth Eriksson hard at work at the wheel. His teammate, Britain's Alistair McRae, had prop shaft problems from an early point. Let's just watch him at the wheel now.
Plus and opens long 100. Easy left plus on crest line 70. Right tightens to medium plus and opens and care tightens to medium.
Not good. I think the prop shaft's come loose again. It's vibrating really badly all the way from the start of the stage, so not so good.
David Senior sitting alongside Alistair McRae in the second of the Hyundais there. New car problems, but they were still in the event. Marcus Grönholm, on the other hand, was running extremely well at the top of the rally, leading from the second stage, and he was fastest again through stages 5, 6 and 8. Grönholm has always been rapid, a tendency perhaps to go off in the past, but this time he was putting it all together beautifully. Richard Burns was holding on to 5th place. He suffered a bent rear anti-roll bar at one point.
50, fast left minus in gravel and fast left minus gravel, to easy left, to crest 40, fast right plus in and fast right plus gravel 50, slight left 20, right max and right max 50.
4th place, Colin McRae in the Ford Focus, winner of the final stage of the day by 3.5 seconds. 3rd place for Tommi Mäkinen, some 18 seconds off the leader Marcus Grönholm.
Helppo pidä sisällä hiekkaa ja vasen nopea plus helppo aukee sisältä jäässä. Alas pyrun pitkä K-oikea plus yli hiekkaa ja vasen täys hiekkaa.
Some stages I couldn't find so good feeling, but some stages, example, last in the forest we came really flat and still Marcus was even a bit quicker.
So it was proving to be quite a challenge, and he wasn't even in 2nd place. This man was in 2nd, Thomas Rodström in the Toyota Corolla. He drove a Ford Focus to 3rd place in the 1999 event and was pushing hard again this time.
Did you expect to be this high?
Yes. I mean, the goal is to win the rally, so I'm not so surprised.
The goal to win, but he wasn't leading at the end of the first day. That was Marcus Grönholm with 4 fastest stage times and a confident and purposeful display that proved Peugeot's pace on gravel is as impressive as its pace has been on tarmac.
Did you expect to be leading?
Not really leading. I thought maybe we can be in top 3.
Tomorrow you're going to be first on the road. Are you happy with that, or would you prefer to be 2nd or 3rd, follow some tracks maybe?
Yeah, we will see. Not so easy to go first out, but I think it's not so bad, so I tried to go same speed as today.
So this is how it looked at the end of that first day. Then a 15-second advantage for Grönholm. Rodström in 2nd place, Mäkinen in 3rd, Colin McRae and Richard Burns 4th and 5th, with Carlos Sainz holding on to 6th position. The Borlang and Falun areas, and would include the rally's longest stage of Jutbo, which has changed the order many times in the past. Weather conditions were still warmer than expected, with rain falling in places as the spectators found some good viewing spots. Marcus Grönholm had led throughout the first leg except for the rally's opening stage, and it was now down to him to maintain the edge. That hardy breed of spectators out in force once again to watch Marcus Grönholm, fastest on the opening 2 special stages of the day, maintaining that momentum that he'd set up on the opening day. Never finished better than 4th place in a world rally before this, twice 4th on the 1,000 Lakes, once 4th in Argentina as well. But this time things were really working for the tall, lanky Finn, who was charging ahead of the field. He was still under some pressure from behind, though. Thomas Rödström in the Toyota Corolla, although on this second day, things were not going quite so well for him. He was only 6th on special stage number 10, the first one of the day, and then 5th on special stage 11.
Jump. And crest 160, crest 80, and crest 80, medium left plus. So crest 80, medium left plus. 150.
The yumps perhaps not quite as bad as on the 1,000 Lakes, but you can still hear the heaviness of the landing as they come down over some of those jumps. Rödström was lacking a bit of grip on some of these second leg stages. The recent winner of the Arctic Rally held in Lapland, but conditions there had indeed been much colder with a lot more snow and ice. It was on this 10th special stage that Rödström made a fairly big mistake at one point as well, which caused him a little bit of a scare and lost him a little more time.
It was very slippy in one braking point, and that's it. It's very easy in this kind of speed.
Colin McRae, 4th overnight, 2nd on the opening stage of this second day, and moving up into 3rd place overall.
Tighten and crest and 4 left, tightens long and opens the 6 of a crest.
One more stage later, he was up into 2nd place overall and set the fastest time on special stage number 12. Things were really beginning to come together for Colin McRae and Nicky Grist. Moving into 2nd, Thomas Rödström was dropping down the order somewhat, but there was still quite a big gap between McRae and rally leader Marcus Grönholm. Great helicopter shots of the Ford Focus at speed, and Colin McRae working away at the wheel.
6 left over jump into 4 right plus, opens. Into 4 left, tightens. And right tightens the slow 4, cut. 30.
Tommi Mäkinen was involved in the battle for 3rd place and indeed for 2nd place with Colin McRae. He was also battling with Thomas Rödström. The 3 of them were very close together, Rödström, McRae and Mäkinen. But Tommi Mäkinen, the 35-year-old who took his 20th career win on the Monte Carlo a couple of weeks previously, was certainly putting in a charge at this midpoint of the rally. Let's just take advantage of the opportunity now to look at how quickly his feet are working on the pedals.
4 ja nyppy paha oikein risteys, varos sisään. 7. Pitkä oikein.
A magical tap dance from Tommi Mäkinen. Richard Burns in the Subaru, running in 5th place after special stage number 12. Not quite able to challenge the top 3. Burns had run brilliantly on the Monte Carlo rally before the disaster of that second day when the engine refused to fire up after a particularly cold night, and both his car and the Peugeot's refusing to start, and that of course denied him any chance to score any points. Still very much a championship contender for the season. His teammate, Juha Kankkunen, just outside the top 5, running in 6th place, but he was dropping time now to Richard Burns and was already just under a minute behind his teammate. Kankkunen, the 4 times World Rally champion himself, matched now, of course, by Tommi Mäkinen, although Mäkinen doing it all in consecutive years. Kankkunen having shared his wins in the World Rally Championship out from the mid-80s up into the early 90s. And no doubt watching with interest the Peugeot's progress, having won this Swedish rally in a Peugeot himself back in 1986.
Fast left, tightens to medium left, tightens.
and flat right to crest.
Sadness, though, for Carlos Sainz. It wasn't to be a 5th consecutive podium here in Sweden. He retired on the road section before special stage 11 due to problems with the oil pump drive system. Always worries when there's a two-car team, of course, to think, would that happen to the other car of Colin McRae? We caught up, Toby Moody, in fact, caught up with Malcolm Wilson to ask him that very question. Would they have a problem, or might they have, with Colin McRae's car?
I mean, we've done what we can do, but obviously it's only temporary repairs. It's an internal part of the engine, which is obviously very difficult to change. So we've done as many precautionary measures as we can, and we just have to hope that everything's okay.
Special stage 11 also accounted for Tony Gardemeister, the young Finn in the Seat. Engine problems taking him out. The oil pressure light came on just 11 kilometers into the stage. They did manage to get the car going again. For a little while, that was, but unfortunately not for long. So Gardemeister had to retire. All over for him for the event. Not a good day for the Seat team, but Didier Auriol still running, up to 7th place overall in the other Cordoba World Rally car. Auriol's input very valuable to the team. It's the first time they've had a real top-line driver in one of their cars. A lot of work to be done. Auriol's asked for a great many improvements, and it'll take a few months before those improvements really start to make a difference. Marcus Grönholm up front then in that Peugeot 206. No one could stop his progress at this point. He looked so comfortable, so at ease, and this time it looked as though he wasn't being forced into the mistakes that we have seen from him in the past. His supporters in the service park before special stage number 13. He came in with a lead of 27.9 seconds ahead of Colin McRae and a further 2 seconds back to Tommi Mäkinen. But the next stage could be critical. Jutbo. Anything and everything can happen on this one. One of the longest in World Rally Championship events at 47 kilometers. Marcus Grönholm did not win this stage, but he didn't make too many mistakes. He was 4th fastest, and that was enough to maintain a 20-second lead.
7 ja vasen nopea. Ja oikein hidas ylinypy kivi sisällä. 7 ja vasen pitkä nopea kirraa. Ja oikein.
Marcus, do you think you've done enough in that stage to keep the lead?
I am not sure, because after the halfway I was scared about the tires and it was sliding here and there, and maybe I was too slow on some places, but we will see, I don't know.
Colin McRae, meanwhile, put in a record-breaking run on this Jutbo stage. Fastest of all, beating Tommi Mäkinen on this one and British rival Richard Burns. With Grönholm finishing 4th on the stage, McRae closed up a little bit behind the Finn, running in a strong 2nd position.
It's the only two we've beat him on now, so he's been very quick earlier today and yesterday. We can just keep trying and see what happens.
Tommi Mäkinen 2nd on this stage at maximum attack as well, perhaps a little too much on what proved to be a critical point of the rally.
Plus heti varo tuo vasen kapea yli 7. Lyhyt oikea eri ja lyhyt vasen eri plus 9. Tuo oikein -15, hae vasen nopea plus.
I'm wondering we're still moving. We went really over the big stones, big rocks. We went off, we slide off completely off this side. And that was, and then afterwards I hit the left front to the stone, and I'm sure left rim is absolutely damaged. It was...
So even Tommi Mäkinen finding things getting a little hairy out there in his attempts to chase down McRae and Grönholm. Thomas Rödström, the local hero, was down in 4th place. He was only 5th fastest on this stage, having been 2nd overnight. Richard Burns still running competitively, but just outside that top 3 battle.
-10, slow mid-jump left, tightens to mid-jump left, 40. Easy right minus to easy right long and easy right plus goes 60. Flat right minus tightens, maybe 50. Long crest jump maybe 60. Fast left plus long to flat right 20. Flat left 40, fast right plus.
Robert Reid calling the notes as Richard Burns continues on his way. Tommy Mackinnon and Colin McRae, however, as we got towards the end of the second day, were involved in a titanic struggle for second position. Mackinnon was back up to second place after the 14th special stage. Let's just take a look at what happened to McRae on this one when he lost 10.7 seconds.
Into slow 4 right. I think you're going to keep it tidy. Slow 4 right, into 6 crest, into 6 right minus, opens.
How about that for a quick spin? And Nicky Grist's comment great there. I think you ought to keep it tidy. Well, Colin McRae getting away with it, but that did drop him back down to third. Damage also for Didier Auriol, having crashed into a banner on the first of the 2 night stages. And it wasn't the only time he was going to do that. Just take a look at this. He seemed to be making a point of collecting them as he went around, but thankfully without actually stopping the car moving. Head-to-head battle towards the end of the day, in fact the last stage of the day, head-to-head around a rallycross type course. Tommy Mackinnon maintaining his second position overall, beating Colin McRae fractionally in this head-to-head and going into day 3 in second place. But Marcus Grönholm, again, no major threat to him. He lost the battle to Thomas Rudstrom in this particular short stage, but only by half a second, and Grönholm still had the advantage. Thomas Rudstrom, not quite such a good second day for him. Tina Turner calling the notes, but it wasn't as good as the first day had been. He would charge, however, once they got into the third leg.
Plus, 20 bad left plus. Very long medium right over crest. 150. Yes. Well done.
What a day. Probably one of the most nervous days of your rallying career coming up tomorrow.
No, we have to see. Maybe, but for a moment, no panic.
Do you think that the rally is over today? Do you think that the stages tomorrow where you can be caught?
I don't think so. If I don't do any mistakes and if I don't start to be nervous and slow down, so I don't think they can catch me. I don't think so.
Confident words from Marcus Grönholm, but he'd never won a round of the World Rally Championship, so how must he have been feeling as the sun went down at the end of day 2? Let's just take a look at the positions at that point. His advantage, just under 30 seconds, so it was a healthy advantage indeed over Mackinnon. McRae was running third, ahead of Rudstrom, Richard Burns, and Ewa Kankinen holding on to sixth. As a demonstration ground for the Scandinavian drivers. A battle between 2 Finns was set to rage over the last leg, but it was the lesser-known driver of those 2 that held the advantage. Five stages to be run on this final day, and let's take a look at how they started. Special stage number 16 then, Marcus Grönholm, first to get away. Running second, Tommy Mackinnon chasing after him. Everything to play for. Colin McRae running in third place, but under pressure from Thomas Rudstrom for that final podium finishing position. And Richard Burns was close behind the 2 of them if either should make a mistake. Grönholm was not out to set new records, but in spite of that, he still had a scare on this 16th stage.
Vasen täys 120. Oi vittu. Oikein täys yli nypyn. 100 pitkä nyppy täys.
You can manage it. I hit a stone on the first stage and I have to slow down a bit because I didn't know what was wrong. But I think the shock absorber in front are damaged, so it will be okay.
A little bit of a scare there, but he got away with it. And in fact, funnily enough, Tommy Mackinnon hit the very same rock on that 16th stage as he tried to close up the gap. In fact, between them, they both had extremely reliable runs to this point on the rally. And the battle was on, but Mäkinen knew he had a huge margin to make up.
It's some snow on stages, at what I heard, and of course it's more difficult for Markus and getting better after cars.
You can see Tommy was relishing the challenge of chasing after Grönholm. Thomas Rödström had closed up to within 3/4 of a second of Colin McRae by setting the fastest time on the 16th special stage. Meanwhile, Richard Burns was still in 5th place overall, setting the pace on special stage number 17. And Pirelli showing their ability to be quick on these sorts of stages. First time they've done that in 3 years. Colin McRae under pressure, particularly from Rödström.
What are you looking forward to these next 2 stages? Do you think you can just put something into him?
Not really, not in the next one. Maybe the one after. Might be a bit easier. But Richard's also going very quickly as well.
Thomas Rödström maintained his momentum. The snow beginning to fall at last. He was fastest on the next 2 stages, 18 and 19, in spite of a brief visit into a ditch and some damage done to the left front corner of the Toyota Corolla. Work done once he got to service to repair that, but it didn't really slow him down any, and he now had moved up into 3rd place. McRae was back down to 4th position. The gap between them just 0.4 of a second, and it was all going to come down to the final stage to see who took 3rd place on the Swedish rally. Nicky Grist was taking no chances.
Nicky, taking everything out, even the bag.
Even the rally bag, all my toys. Yeah, it's obviously getting pretty serious now. Thomas was exceptionally quick on those last 2 stages the first time around. I don't envisage him being as quick on this one, but we're taking no chances, and obviously he's going to be going hard as well. So everything's out of it. It's probably down to the bare minimum.
So they got rid of the spare tyre, they got rid of the drinks bottles, everything that was even slightly superfluous was thrown out in their attempt to take that 3rd position. Richard Burns still in the battle, but some 8 seconds behind Colin McRae. Unless McRae or Rödström had a problem, he was not going to get on the podium. Markus Grönholm, he just had the 1 stage to go with a good lead, but never count your chickens when you got Tommy Mäkinen bearing down on you in 2nd place. And so we move to the very final stage of this year's Swedish rally. Harry Rosenpera, the 3rd of the Seats, the man who'd been displaced in the Seat team by Tony Gardemeister at the beginning of this year, brought back in to Seat, but didn't quite get this downhill right-hander the correct way. A light contact with the trees, and fortunately it didn't put him out of the rally. He still managed to finish in 20th place. The battle for 3rd place was on, though. Colin McRae, with that stripped-out Ford Focus, was absolutely on the limit to try and beat Thomas Rödström. And Rödström himself on a stage he knows so well, a stage which last year he charged on to battle with Didier Auriol. Now he was in contest with Colin McRae. But the time
Long easy right tightens,
went away from Rödström. Just take a look at what happened to him.
Press 60 and long bad right plus, 60 long bad right plus before sign, in junction.
And that was enough. That moment was enough for Colin McRae to just snatch 3rd by just over a second.
It's great for everyone, for the whole team, certainly for me and my confidence. We can relax a bit now and concentrate and going very quickly.
Maybe the extra weight that Nicky took out was just enough to make the difference.
Well, everything, it doesn't matter what it is, just the slightest wee bit can make a difference.
The smile on Colin McRae's face, which has been missing for such a long time. 9 events he'd gone without a finish, and at last Nicky Grist said that taking 3rd place was like winning a rally for those 2. But Markus Grönholm was the man who actually was going to come through to win this rally. He took it a little easy on the final stage, determined not to make any mistakes. But they had to wait until Tommy Mäkinen had come through to know for sure whether they had done enough. As it turned out, Mäkinen was 3rd on the stage, Grönholm was 5th. Mäkinen had gained some 9 seconds, but it wasn't enough to beat Markus Grönholm for the overall win. The Peugeot mechanics waited to hear the news. What had Mäkinen done? Had they won the rally? The reactions told it all. And the congratulations to Markus Grönholm. And Toby Moody was right there for Eurosport to get Marcus's reactions.
Marcus, fantastic, fantastic. How does it feel?
Good, very good.
Has to be the day of your life.
Yeah, it's a good day, yes, very good. And it was difficult also to keep it cool, but we managed, yes, good.
All that work has now got to continue through the season. You can do it now.
Yes, of course, but it's many rallies new for me, so we have to take it easy. But it was good.
And what delight for Peugeot, the return with the Peugeot 206 and the first win for this car. I'm very happy, very relieved. But at the same time, we are calm as it makes up for the win that we didn't get last year. This victory has come at the best moment, just a fortnight after a big setback on the Monte Carlo. For this rally in Sweden, we did everything we could. Marcus led from the second stage and kept that lead right until the finish, keeping a lot of good drivers behind him, McRae, Mäkinen, etc. It was a good team effort, and François Delacour took 1 point, so we have 11 points in the Constructors' Championship. We are back in the race for the title. The whole team worked very well. The engineers, the mechanics. It's a great moment of relief. A great moment of relief. And Mäkinen was quick to congratulate Grönholm.
Tommy, so close, 6.8 seconds. Do you think you could have got him somewhere else, maybe on Jutbo after those two mistakes?
Yeah, I think that cost our winner here. It was some mistakes yesterday, and well, it's sometimes happened. Something like that. It can happen wherever. We shouldn't do. I have a lot of experience, but still I made a little mistake, and it's rallying. But I'm very happy for Markus. It was a very important win for victory for them and for Peugeot. It's good.
Still, the Scandinavians dominate this rally. The other Europeans just can't get in.
Yeah, it seems to be still like that, but we never know. Now we go from here, we go to Safari, which is definitely different condition, and we'll see.
Richard Burns finished in 5th place in the Subaru, getting a couple of points this time, getting his name on the board of the World Championship. And Juha Kankinen finished in 6th place. Kenneth Eriksson in the first outing for the Hyundai Accent World Rally car finished in 13th place. His teammate Alistair McRae finished in 14th position. The final result then, Markus Grönholm winning his first ever World Championship event and the first win for Peugeot with the 206 World Rally car. Tommy Mäkinen beaten to second, but Colin McRae getting a finish at last. He's so relieved to have got that third place. Thomas Rudstrom running well in this event. In the